What is up, guys? Welcome back. Okay, so in today's video, what I want to talk about is my Dragon B8 team. So this is the team that I use to auto the DB8 Dragon, and you guys can use it as kind of like a template if you would like to get to a point where you can auto the Dragon. I will say that this team is not at 100% right now. It has a low enough failure rate that it's usually worth it to just run it. The failure rate is pretty low, and also, as you guys can see, I don't have top tier gems on all of the monsters here. So as the gem quality increased, if I increase the gem quality, then that would decrease the failure rate. But I generally run dragons so infrequently. It's so infrequent that I don't feel the need to prioritize these monsters for this particular stage. I think I can get through the Dark Dragon at 100% on auto. So this is kind of just if I happen to need the triangle gems from the DB8 Dragon. So while you can probably replace some of these monsters, I do think the Fire Succubus is a cornerstone of these runs. She's just got such a great self-heal on her, and then the Death Break is also really helpful. That I just think she really adds to the sustainability and the survivability of this particular team. I do think that probably the monster that is the most replaceable here would be the Fire Leo. There are a lot, fire monsters tend to have some of the highest damage dealers. Not if we're taking out Dark and their crit damage, their extra crit damage, but base attack. There are a lot of really good fire attackers that are out there, which might be able to take the place of the Fire Leo. Also, if you have another monster that has a better self-sustain than him on a leech set, then that might actually help improve your runs as well. You can consider the Fire Vamp. I'm not sure how I have a Fire Vamp. I just never built him, so I don't use him. But you can try him in this set and see how well the runs go. If you haven't built a Leo or you don't have a leech set. Alternatively, a second Succubus, Fire Succubus, would probably work just as well, if not better. Because she's just got such a great self-sustain. I talked about this in the other Tina video, but these monsters are crit dependent, and so you really need one that has a square. Now the benefit of these type of monsters is that you'll get enough through the course of your game that you can pick the one that you want, as opposed to the Tina where we're locked into the single one that we're allowed to summon. So if the first Fire Succubus you get doesn't have a square, guys, don't build her. Just wait till you get another one with a square. Same for the Fire Leo. Now I also to talk about the Kira. So I talked about this in an old wood golem video that I did early on in the channel's life. I think the audio is probably not the greatest, so if there are videos that are older that you guys feel like you can't hear and you want me to talk about again, then let me know, and I will try and cover that content again with better audio. So hopefully the audio has improved with some of the newer videos that I have. But yeah, so back to the Cura. So I talked about this in the old wood golem video that I did. When it comes to monsters that put off sap, I really like using shield. I also talked about shield in another video too, also back in the day. But shield is such a great skill because first of all, it not only absorbs damage, but it also kind of block status effects. So if you're on a stage where there's like a ton of sap that's a threat to your team, building resist, of course, will be very helpful to keep the sap off of your monsters. Alternatively, if you have a strong enough shield, the shield can help mitigate the sap in two ways. So first of all, it'll stop the sap in terms of if it doesn't break. So if the enemy attacks your monsters and the shield does not break, then no status effect will land. Alternatively, if you have the shield on your monster before the sap kind of takes effect, so before the start of your next turn, then the shield will absorb the damage from the sap. Now, of course, the dragons are really strong, and you might not, and the shield might not withstand it. And in which case, then just the heal is helpful, and the absorption of just the enemy damage is also helpful for your monsters. But yeah, so I kind of talked, like I said, I talked about this, but I do generally like to run the, when I start with an auto team. For a wood stage with a lot of sap, I generally like to start testing out the Fire Cura because of her shield. It just seems to help stabilize an initial team, and then from there you can kind of improve on it and increase time and test out taking her out and see if you can increase your time, increase your speed by removing the healer. But you can try it without her, but I'm not sure. You probably need to have some really good resist on your monsters, some really good self-sustain on your monsters, if you're going to run without the Fire Cura. Now the Yuki is helpful here in two ways. So she's got a very consistent death break, and the death break helps in two ways. So first of all, of course, it increases your damage because of death break, but also because I've got some self-sustainers here. It's going to increase their ability to heal themselves if they can get off more damage to the enemy. So I do like to have the Fire Yuki here. That's kind of why I started running her. I had something else there before, but I think she makes the team a little more consistent than what I was running in the past. So yeah, guys, that's all I have for my discussion on autoing the DB8 dragon. I will say this about autoing the dragons. I do see autoing dragons, the lower stages of dragons, as kind of late game stuff. You might not be there, but this is kind of a good, I think, blueprint of what you can consider if you're trying to get to a point where you can auto dragons. I personally, I think it is a little bit better to just auto the 3 stages below DB10, because you can pick the gem slot that you want to farm for, and also if they are autoable, you can get to a point where you don't have to manual the dragon, which for your life just helps with being able to do other things as opposed to just sitting at a dragon. And if you're at a time like this where we had to run a lot of Tinas and we end up with a whole lot of sigils, it's just sometimes it just doesn't feel worth it to just sit there and go through all of the sigils manually. So I do think that's an in-game thing, and it is something to shoot for, if you play the game for a long time. The easiest dragon to auto is going to be the dark dragon. So he's got, we got quite a few good light and dark monsters, and you can kind of pretty easily get to a point where you can auto that dragon. So if you can't do this one, don't feel like you're missing out, because the barrier to entry is much lower in the dark dragon if you can get there. With that said, guys, get into a little bit of a channel update. I did get out one video a day last week pretty much, and that's a lot. And so what I'm gonna, I can't do that consistently all the time. I just don't have time for it. But what my goals are, I do have a goal of trying to do at least a video every other day. More than likely it's just going to be my minimum requirement, which is hopefully 2 videos a week. So I am going to try and do 2 videos a week at a minimum. We might get up to more than that, but that is my goal. Outside of that, I would like to set up streaming for you guys, so you guys can come and talk to me, ask me questions, and I'll do what I can to answer them. Also, just if you want to watch my teams and watch how I run my game, then you can just chill, in my stream. The other thing is, but I do have an issue where I don't particularly want to run with Nox, so I'm trying to figure out how to stream without having to run through Nox. So that's my issue right now. So yeah, guys, thank you guys for all of the follows and and watching the content and engaging with the comments and stuff like that, and I do like all of that. So yeah, guys, that's all I have for you today. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you have not, and I will see you next time.